This is the interrogatory. Introductory paragraphs. 1. Victor Latordo, Robert and Dylan, Ramona Bernadine, defendants, reserve the right to supplement this answer as discovering is ongoing, meaning they get to change their answer whenever they feel that they get caught lying. Answer to interrogatory number 2. See interrogatory number 1, which was Victor, which is incorporated, blah, blah, blah. And Rand's co-workers have knowledge regarding her alleged injury. So this guy's so smart, he calls me a her, because he's not, too knowledgeable, and, whatever, he reserves the right to be an idiot. Thomas, from Bellevue, he also defrauded these people over here. Kim S. sold out by doing insurance reviews and ruined my health by lying about my injuries. Why? Well, why would he lie about people's injuries? He's a chiropractor. Insurance denied. Her insurance was denied for future chiropractic, so now she has to pay cash because, he probably said it was some pre-conditioning condition and whatever. Totally screwed that lady over. This guy right here, if you go look, who's got, he was the first to review. He's got 344 reviews. If you look, he does this for like practically a living. He takes pictures, really nice ones. He's got a fancy camera. He goes around and makes good reviews for everyone. And basically says, Dr. Renninger is exceptional. He was recommended by my general health doctor and can be described as quick, smart, honest. He doesn't bullshit around about how smart he is. I mean, well, he never actually says how great of a doctor and how he was treated by him. He just says he was recommended by, my general health doctor and can be described as a, smart, honest. He doesn't bullshit around how smart he is. He's probably, whatever. He's probably none of that. He's probably the exact opposite. He's pretty stupid. He's not very honest, and he doesn't bullshit around with how stupid he is. And I'll catch him in Alzheimer's watch on his paper. But after this person gives a 5-star, after they were rear-ended while at a red stoplight, they started seeing Dr. Renninger, and I'm so glad they did. He guided me through the process of either getting fucked or he might have helped them do it right, and maybe he wrote a report that was correct and probably helped her get settle her claim nice, so she's happy. But for the most part, he screwed me, he screwed her, and he's got this lady Jennifer, who he's seen for 15 years. He took her money for 15 years. Said she's getting a good treatment. She's probably doing maintenance like me and thinks the chiropractor's great. And so let's see what this chiropractor has to say after he defrauds everyone over there. Yeah, check this out. Interrogatory number 3, Thomas Renninger. Renninger performed a review of the plaintiff's medical records, a copy of the curriculum, and Vita records review attached to hereto and incorporated herein some and substance of the Dr. Renninger's anticipated testimonies contained within this report. He is also expected to provide rebuttal testimony to any testimony or evidence offered by the plaintiff's expert or medical professionals at arbitration or trial. And why doesn't he say about me? Well, what about me? He's not going to say anything about my YouTube videos or what I got to say? F him. Well, anyways, he's going to have to. There's Tyson Menendez, defendant, and then we go into, and then he signs it, the lawyer, and then it says right here, date of medical review, and then it says cover letter. Victor Latordo's vehicles from both subject accidents, and note he has high quality black and white photos. They didn't actually use color, so he could just say that basically in the second motor vehicle accident that the Highlander did not have any rear end damage and it was never repaired, and they gave him some black and white photograph to just doctor it up so that it looked like high quality black and white, so you couldn't see the white scratch and the tiny golf ball sized dent that was in it and the scratches that they probably fixed. And they probably did it black and white because the paint color's off. And my dad was an auto body man, and when the paint's not exactly correct, give me a color coat, give me an exact match. So yeah, let me see it in color. I guarantee you my dad will tell you if it's been or any, let me take it to my shop and see if the scratch marks and it was ever fixed and the paint actually matches. They gave him a high quality black and white photograph Of the Nissan, they're black and white photographs of my Nissan. They're black and white photographs of the Toyota Highlander. I mean, why did they switch them to black and white and then give them a freaking copy of the black and white? Black and white photocopies? I mean, who does this and then makes a whole review based on black and white photocopies? All right. Vehicle repair estimates. There's the estimate for the first time, and then the second time they smashed into me. It was actually $2,600, but I told my friend they wouldn't fix it unless it was $2,000. I just put $6,000 into the car. I had receipts for everything, and for the $2,000 here, he fixed it because he's my friend. It really was $2,600. It was more like a $4,000 damage. The first auto shop I took it to wouldn't even fix it because they said it was an open a can of worms they didn't even want to touch, and that was a really professional one. Name brand like Enterprise. They do the Enterprise rental cars when they get crashed. Victor Latordo, records predating the accident of May 13th, 2014. So now he's saying Victor is evaluated regarding injuries sustained in motor vehicle accidents that occurred on August 9th, 2009. This is like right after I got out of culinary school when I had my gallbladder removed many years ago. Mr. Latordo was involved in an accident when he was rear-ended, and he had accident. He has headaches. No, I didn't have headaches back then. Maybe like if I would have had a headache, it might have been one time. Yeah, I really don't think I ever even complained to it about a doctor. I never sued. I never made any fuss. There was no headache. The fuss was all in the neck pain and stiffness, shoulder pain, stiffness. If I even had shoulder pain back then, I really don't think I had shoulder pain back then. It wasn't until later. Could be possible, but stiffness, upper back pain, and stiffness. I really don't think I had shoulder pain. I didn't have no shoulder pain then. Let me see where the shoulder pain and the headaches actually were back then, because I didn't have those till later on. But stiffness, upper back pain, stiffness, mild back, whatever. My back was always kind of after that accident, and I got massage therapy, and I got chiropractic for it. I didn't need to go to I think actually maybe I did need to go to physical therapy. For it was either this one or that one or the other one. One of them I had to go to physical therapy. They got all the notes. Record indicate that Victor was approximately 32 times in 2009. Blah 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 blah. And 37 times in 2010 that I was seen by Alderwood Back and Neck Pain Clinic on January 24, 2011. And so Victor's complaints following this accident are headaches. I never had headaches in that accident either. This guy's saying I've had headaches in all these accidents, which is a complete fraud. It's this guy's just I'd like to see all the records that said I had all these headaches that he's talking about, because this is fraud. It didn't happen until the other accident with Dylan. Head pain, neck pain, stiffness, upper back pain, stiffness, mild back pain, stiffness, low back pain and stiffness, buttock pain and depression, anxiety, tension, irritability, nervousness. He was seen by emergency room doctor in Swedish following this accident. Depression, I didn't have depression. Anxiety, I didn't really have anxiety. There might have been tension, in my back and in my neck. Irritability, I wasn't too irritable. Maybe, the tension in my back was irritating. My back and my spine was irritated. And nervousness, whatever this guy's trying to make it sound like I'm depressed and I'm all anxious and I have all this tension from being anxious and depressed and nervous. I'm not nervous or anxious or depressed. Where's my doctor's notes saying all that? I'm actually having a great mood. I actually I've been doing great things in my life. Doing stuff like this. I look at that with my wife in 2000, right after I got done getting buffed out and working out and getting fixed on this stuff. My doctor seen me, I was treated. There are records of 58, chiropractic treatments completed at this clinic in 2011. And 58, and look how great I was looking in 2011. After those 52 treatments. See that rockin' body? I mean, how can you say that, I was just some cripple, who was never injured from, and never made it healthy again after, my chiropractor hooked me up, he's got all the, doctor stuff. And so, yeah, so where are we gonna, so there, Mr. Latordo saw the chiropractor approximately 160 times between September 10th, 2009 and April 16th, 2014. So that's how many times I seen the chiropractor to get better. So I had a body like that. Look at that sexy body. Look at that tummy. Look at that. Look at those beefy muscles. Look at that sexy tone to everything. This was 2013 or 2012 on my trip to Philippines, right before 6 months or whatever before he hit me, and then the Dylan hit me, and then that's 2011, a couple of years before. Let's see, and then it says, Latordo saw the chiropractor approximately, on here's the findings. It hasn't significantly changed, blah, blah, blah. Records post motor vehicle accident of May 13th, 2014. So this is after the guy hit me. And basically, I had only, seen, here's the notes from Darcy, these occurred between 2009 and 2011. Also provided routine medical care for me between 2013 and May of 2014. Mr. Latordo saw me only for what might be characterized as routine adjustments. He was not treating for any traumatic injury or estimates for injuries that he suffered from his two distant motor collisions. I wasn't being treated for that. I only seen him like once a month, which is basically, this lawyer did my math for me in the next down here, and we'll be able to see, exactly how many times I went. And it was, literally one time a month for 14 months or something, with maybe a small gap in between. It was pretty regular. Cervical strain examinations, finding motion is decreased and painful. That's right after my accident. Chart notes indicate that I was seen approximately 6 times in May 2014, 9 times in June, 10 times in July, 11 times in August, blah, blah, blah. Complaints are of pain, muscle spasms, 11-15 headaches are 1 time per week. Neck pain is 210. I also told the Zaghetti, even on the intake form when I got into the chiropractor on this accident, I'm getting all these headaches. I told my doctor. Billing records indicate blah, blah, blah. And then it says post motor vehicle accident of January 5th and 15th. So this is, after January 15th. And then it says, Mr. Latordo returns to see Darcy Zaghetti. Mr. Latordo states his occupation is disabled. He has back pain, neck pain, and hip pain. He has a degenerative disc disease. He was treated by a physician last year for a similar health condition related to whiplash that occurred in 2014. And then he says, reviewer's note, I cannot read the date except for 2014. Well, why not? Reviewers know I cannot read the date except for 2014. I mean, it just, why not? Why can't you read the date? You want me to spell it out for you? Reviewers know I cannot read the entire date. It's right here. Are you like blind or something? I don't get it. Mr. Latordo completes an accident questionnaire regarding the motor vehicle accident of January 8th of 2015. Mr. Latordo states he was driving his vehicle and the impact was to the front. He was wearing a seatbelt. I never even got this. I never got the statement that the recording took for me when I filled out my claim number and said I'd been injured, and I told them exactly how my car looked like. They asked me what the other car looked like. They asked me what I was injured and where. I still haven't received that, but he has. My lawyer hasn't received it, and for some reason he said they can't find it and they won't give it to me, even though I'm allowed to have it by law. They got to give this to me. It says he was wearing a seatbelt and did not lose consciousness. He had immediately complaints since the accident. He had neck pain, stiffness. So I want the transcripts. I want the voice stuff of this. He definitely, they never gave me the phone records. And then it says consultation with the chiropractor indicates Ms. Latordo was in a prior vehicle, in 2014, which was the Dylan accident. Diagnosis is multiple service ablations with sublations with blah, blah, blah. There are a record of 42 chiropractic treatments between January 2015 and November 21st of 2015. 2016, I was seen approximately 9 times. In 2017, he was seen 1 time, with his last visit to the clinic on August 2nd of 2017. Lumbar spine MRI report in the records from this chiropractic clinic. The lumbar spine MRI was completed in March 11th, 2016. I had an MRI report because my back was hurting. My hip had froze up. It was all messed up. I was really scared. I needed to see what's going on, make sure like I don't have like a damaged, something that's like, real bad. So the doctor ordered that, and then I had basically to go to the pain clinic in the UW and go through physical therapy and stuff, but he's not going to tell you about that. He's just going to say, Sundance massage, intake form, and then family care. This is the doctor I seen. Follow-up motor vehicle accident in May. And basically records, care treatment from August 30th, 2013 until March 6th, 2017. Reviewers note he reviewed them, but I'm only briefly summarizing them, he says. Last massage session, he has low back, left hip pain, currently level 4 to 10, occasionally flare up to 7 to 10. Yeah, it was still hurting me. I couldn't see the chiropractor because when he'd adjust me, I'd have to get on my side, and it'd hurt kind of, it wouldn't feel good, so I had to quit that a while back, and I was still doing physical therapy, and I finally found a massage therapist who got these cups, who really was the game changer in the day, saved my hip from just complete utter who knows what would have happened. And then 3/7/17, my hip locked up, my left hip. I had to go to the hospital. Level 6 to 10 was my pain level. Whatever, I guess, with limited range of motion. Yeah, I couldn't even barely walk. He's seen a chiropractor and physical therapist at the time. Yeah, and then I had to go to the pain clinic. Edmonds Tonley, she referred me. Is seen regarding follow-up for motor vehicle accident in May. His vehicle was rear-ended, and so he goes on to list that couple hours when he had neck pain, and discomfort. Yeah, that's exactly when I started having my neck pain and discomfort with the persistent headache. See that? Persistent. Notice anywhere in my medical reports, nowhere ever. If it even ever said a headache, it wouldn't be persistent. Might have been just once. I told her I had a headache that day. I mean, like, it wasn't like persistent. Like I had these crazy strong in my forehead headaches. This is what happened from Dylan. He currently complains of low back pain, neck pain, right hip pain, and persistent headache. I complained to her that they reignited all this pain that I was having, that I was pain free, and all of a sudden this guy hits me, and all of a sudden I got all this pain. So I tell her about it. Next visit, I'm complaining about neck and shoulder pain in my hips, sore muscles. He has a headache still. I got referred to physical therapy because my hips complain, and that was right after, I was like right when it happened. The tear got a little bit worse. I went to the pain clinic. They did some imaging stuff and told me exactly where my tear was or whatever in my hip, and then I went to the UW pain clinic to get it treated. Complaints of low back and discomfort, and those pain clinics were injections on my back and my hip that weren't too good. One was a steroid, and the others were just local something else. But complaints of low back and discomfort in his left hip. Oh yeah, big time. 3/6/17 follow-up regarding his pain. Diagnosis, hip bursitis. He's referred to physical therapy, so I must have went to the doctor, said, look, my hip's still, I need physical therapy, because it's just, still not doing good. I'm still having issues. The chiropractor can't fix it, and massage cannot fix it. And so, reviewers note there are records from Edmund Swedish Federal in this section, including physical therapy records, that he's not summarizing. Well, why wouldn't he summarizing? Because they're too damaging for his case to summarize all of them from both cases, Dennis and the other girl who treated me. Deposition transcripts of Victor M. Latordo. And then it goes into, here's my deposition, the transcripts, Swedish Medical. Victor Latordo is evaluated regarding low back pain. He strained it. working his back while emptying fish tanks. It was emptying a 5-gallon bucket. It wasn't fish tanks. And my mom, had a little bucket. It was about 4 gallons of water, which is, roughly to 28 pounds. And when I dumped it, I kind of bent over a little bit and strained my back. And so I went to the doctor. It was like no big deal. And just, asked her for, her advice, if I could get a pain pill or something, whatever. Just a maintenance thing. Went to the, probably massage, maybe chiro, and ended up fixed it, went away. And then it's been, a couple years later, evaluated regarding motor vehicle accident that occurred 3 days ago. He has neck, low back, right hip pain. It was a low-speed motor vehicle accident when his vehicle was rear-ended by Dylan, another car. He's examined. It is noted there are no objective findings regarding injury. The findings that were subjected is Mr. Latordo has areas of tenderness in his penis. And then it says tenderness, evaluating physician notes he has neck and low back pain in the setting of a recent car accident. Pain appears to be muscular. The penis part's down here, but it's right here. But the pain appears to be musculoskeletal in origin. The physician does not think he needs emergency imaging. The patient said he came to the emergency room and he was referred by the insurance claim adjuster. At this time, treatment with whatever is recommended, and he is followed up with his primary care physician. Patient asked about the possibility of massage treatment for his low back pain. He's told that something needs to be discussed with the primary care provider. So basically, he just told me to go see my doctor and go get, whatever, and they can't even basically do anything for me there except write a report and charge me $500. Diagnosis: cervical and lumbrosal strains with the right hip pain. And that was from the first accident, because that was must have been right hip. 5/16/14. So yeah, and so that was when I had the right hip pain. I went to the ER and told them about my right hip pain. Next, Mr. Latordo is evaluated. Yeah, my right hip is just like on fire right now. Even next, Mr. Latordo is evaluated regarding abdominal pain because I got sick. It was like thrown up, scrotuming. I have gastrointestinal complications, sometimes irritable bowel syndrome. Upon referral from Tanya Bryant, Latordo is evaluated, sent to the physical therapy department regarding lower back pain. He has a history, and realistically, it wasn't lower back pain. It was my hip. This was my hip, maybe lower back pain, but it was all subjective to both. It was all connected. We worked on both of it. I need to go use my roller right now practically and roll my right one out because it's so sore. He has a history of minor motor vehicle. He was involved in a, motor vehicle accident on May 14th, 2014. He states when he usually gets in a motor vehicle accident, he goes to the chiro and massage therapist. He is examined. It is noted he is muscular. Mr. Latordo states he does not work out much and his muscles are from growing plants, lots of bending and lifting. And that's like such the crock of shit. I work out all the time. I'm working out at the gym all the time. Before all these accidents, you can ask my wife, even in the Philippines, I would work out like a madman. Just, 3 days a week, 4 days a week sometimes. I do lots of elliptical exercises and cardio and physical weightlifting. So I just don't work out after people rear end me, because I have to kind of recover from it. And so that's, if I ever said I don't work out, that's why I don't work out much. And he doesn't state that here. Okay, and his muscles are from growing plants, lots of bending and lifting. Well, that too, I do it all. It's nice to work out in summer. I got a chainsaw, I got a bunch of tools, and he says I do not see any additional physical therapy visits. And that was 9/23/14, the Dylan accident. Okay, and then 10/15/14, I'm complaining of soreness on my penis. Well, you know what? Seriously, what would that be, like an STD, or like I shut it in the zipper on my zipper, or complaining of soreness on my penis, like I just, it's mildly tender. This is fraud here. This guy, find me a doctor report where a doctor says my penis hurts. maybe, you know, my groin was a little sore, and my wife had to rub it out because I really, you know, I don't want to have these other therapists touching my around my genitals or whatever, you know. But my penis wasn't sore. Complains of an earache. He has a long-standing history of ear pain and swimmer's ear. Yeah, because I was working out, going to the gym, swimming, trying to get better. I wasn't lifting heavy weights. I was swimming from the Dillon's accident, and I had an earache because I had a swimmer's ear and I had an ear infection. So I had to go on antibiotics, but he states it did nothing for him. He currently has severe pain in his left ear. Yeah, maybe he hasn't done a left ear in 2 days. It obviously, it fixes your, you got to take it for a week or two. It examined, his extremities are traumatic, no evidence of infection. There may be serious otitis. Well, yeah, I have evidence of infection. There was totally evidence of infection. I don't know what this guy's talking about. My ear was infected from the swimming I had done the week before I got hit. Or when I got hit, because this is right when, what's her name hit me. It's, and I had been, doing the swimming and the hot therapy with the pool, hot tub, before that. And, and then evaluated initial assessment for restraint or seclusion. I went to the mental hospital because I was just doing a lot of thinking for too many days, and I wouldn't go to sleep because I was just too much to think about. My mind was just going manic because I was snowed in, had split, and I was just looking at a bunch of data and seeing how it all fit in my life and all my computer stuff. So evaluated when I got out of the hospital, evaluated outpatient physical therapy. I was able to get back to doing my workouts and my stuff, and getting back to physical therapy and getting my massage and getting my back better. Mr. Torto was involved in the vehicle accident January of 2015, and he is referred to Tanya Bryant. He also had a motor vehicle accident last year, which was the Dillon accident, and May of 14, and now he has pain in both hips and his low back. He is having massage therapy every week, which helps a lot. Apparently his wife is a massage therapist, and so I have pain in my neck too, which he doesn't, right here. Apparently my wife is a massage therapist, and she and my headaches, and she tries to help him too. Physical therapy is recommended at 1 time per week for up to 12 weeks. Another physical therapy session is completed. Physical therapy session is provided. He has improved working with the chiropractor, massage therapist. 10/23/15, evaluated by physical therapist. Physical therapy discharge summary is completed. Undergoes another physical therapy evaluation due to low back and neck pain and sprain. He was involved in another motor vehicle accident in 2015. All this is just part of the record here. There are records of physical therapy completed, 8 physical therapy sessions in this grouping, 9 physical therapy sessions in that grouping. Lots of physical therapy here. All the injections, everything was getting fucked. Presented with left knee pain, and the pain started 3 days ago. Yeah, there's a few days my knee hurt, and I just took a few days to rest, and I got better. Just something was just pissed off. I hurt my knee when I was 18, and it just always that knee was never the same. It was a hyperextension of my knee. Record from Stevens Hospital indicates that Mr. Latordo is evaluated regarding neck pain from 2009. That was a long time ago. The accident that I got better from. I worked out at the gym, got massive massages, spent $30,000, getting better. That one might have been another $15,000 getting better from that accident. Chief complaint, I was in another motor vehicle accident yesterday, and it was the same deal where some idiot rear-ended me, and it was their fault. But their insurance company never had a problem with giving me a few $1,000s. This insurance company did, obviously. They thought I was making this all up. Inching forward, I was hit from another vehicle, and diagnosis is low back post-motor vehicle accident. Inching forward, he was hit from behind by another vehicle. Yeah, well, that was Yeah, that was in 2011. So that's what they're talking about. Okay. And that one was already done. That was already fixed. Already got buffed out. And 2011, Victor is seen by a massage therapist. He has neck, back, low pain. Victor is in multiple vein condition on January 21st, 2011. He has neck and back pain. He's unable to daily work, and he cannot carry stuff. Well, maybe for a day or two, but you know, I get back on the horse. I rock and roll. I get back up to being healthy. You know, you want to see the date in the sand? You see that? September 13th, 11? I mean, that's written in the sand. That's the picture. That's the date we were at the beach. You know, like a little kid wrote that in the sand for us and charged us 50 cents. And then it says, chart notes from the therapist that indicate Victor was seen approximately 4 times in February, twice in March, 3 times in April, once in May, 3 times in June, 4 times in July, and once in August, with the last visit in the grouping on August 13th of 2011. So by 2011 August, I was good. And then look at my pictures here 2 months later. Man, I'm freaking rocking healthy. Thanks for putting this all together for me, Renninger. Mr. Latordo saw the massage therapy pissed approximately 18 times between February 1st, 11th, and August 13th, 2011. So 18 times is what it took me there to get better. Chart notes indicate that Mr. Latordo continued to be symptomatic during his treatment. 7-5, moderate left neck pain. 8-13, last visit in grouping. Symptoms are low. Plus left neck and shoulder pain and moderate bilateral low back pain. Plan is to continue with weekly massages. Okay, so that, and then guess what happens? What? A week later, September 9, 13, 11. I had, low. Symptoms are low. Okay, and so I was doing good. I was doing great. You know, I was wrapped up. I was great. Everything was good. Until, vehicle accident of May 13th of 2014. This one really fucked me up. So, Mr. Latordo returns to see the massage therapist. We know the rest. He was in a motor vehicle accident by the collision on March 8th by Dylan. He complains of his pain in his neck and back, low right, pretty much everywhere. He's unable to do his daily work, right hip. That was for the Dylan accident. Chart notes indicate that Victor was seen approximately 2 times, 4 times, severe minus pain in neck and moderately and blah blah blah. I have freaking my headaches. Headaches should be in here, but he's too bum. I'll write him in. Headaches. He's not gonna write him in there because he's too much of a loser. Headaches. Okay. Moderate pain, neck, all that good stuff. Focus in. We got last massage in this grouping. There it goes. Last message in this grouping. Moderate pain is, in neck. Pain, low back, moderate pain in back. Treatment plan is weekly massage. Well, what about my hips too? Right hip. Or, that was, right before the accident. I actually had my last chiropractic adjustment, right before this accident. And treatment plan is weekly massages. Last massage in this grouping. Moderate plus pain in neck, low back. Yeah, it was the last massage because I just got hit the next day. It's not like it wouldn't have been the last massage anyway. Mr. Latordo returns to the massage therapist. He was involved in a motor accident just a couple days more, January 10th. Check that date, make sure that's right. Let's see here. Chart notes from the massage therapist indicate that Victor Latordo was seen 1 time in January 2015, 1 time in January 15, following the accident of January 15, then once in February, and twice in March, 3 times in April and June, twice, and July, August, and September, 3 times. October, it was approximately seen 22 times between January 31st and November 21st of 2015. when I was real fucked up from the Bernine accident. You know, it's just these just one after another. You know, physical therapy, my hip. 2016, the massage therapy continued with Mr. Latordo, seen once in March, 5 times in April, blah, blah, blah. Neck and shoulder pain, you know, hip, left, lower back at moderate levels. You know, what about my headaches? He doesn't say it. Low back and hip pain today, you know, blah, blah, blah. Last May, he started in this grouping. He skipped 4 weeks due to work and health conditions. He started physical therapy, and that is helping a lot. 11, yeah, health conditions. Sometimes I get sick and I can't make it. You know, I have this gastroenteritis shit. Next visit, he had a headache, lumbar sprain, blah, blah, blah. It was after the Bernine accident. Neck, shoulder, hip, low back pain, more of that, more massage, billing records, you got it. And then here, discussion, the opinions expressed in this report are based upon a more probable than not basis. What injuries, if any, did the plaintiff sustain as a result of each accident? Based on my reviews of the records of May 13th, 2014, accident involved in a minimal impact, and Victor Latordo did not sustain an injury that required any chiropractic care or massage therapy. So here's a chiropractor saying I got an accident. I don't deserve any of that. There's no objective documentation in the records that Mr. Latordo sustained any injury as a result of the May 2013 accident. So he says basically you take someone like this, you get him in a little car who's had all these other problems before, and there's no objective documentation that Mr. Latordo sustained any injury as a result of that. There's no x-rays. He hasn't seen he hasn't compared any of the x-rays from before when I had just had my x-rays, right when I closed the case from that, you know, accident 7 months before or whatever, or 9 months or a year or whatever the hell it was, 12 months. Mr. Latordo was seen at all the way back, it was actually like 14 months, at the back and neck pain clinic on January 14, 2015, and the diagnosis reached by that clinic was multiple, you know, basically I had whiplash and they fucked me up, and basically they're basically saying that, you know, that Mr. Latordo, you know, was seen there at the chiropractor's office. And 2, did the plaintiff suffer from any pre-existing conditions that were asymptomatic but lit up by any of the accidents? Based upon my understanding of the records, Victor Latordo's pre-existing conditions of multiple skeletal complaints was symptomatic at the time of the accident of May 13. So he's trying to say that I was having all these problems when I'm all buffed out and working to the gym and got my passport, and I come back from barely ever even seeing the chiropractor, but once a month for a long time, not even getting, you know, a whole lot of, you know, chiropractic because my back's feeling good, you know, and you know, I'm over here in the massage therapy over in the Philippines, really getting massage therapied up while I'm working out. I'm feeling great. However, you know, if his pre-conditioning conditions were asymptomatic to the time of either motor accident, they were not lit up or permanently aggravated by either accident. So right here, he's saying that none of the accidents, you know, that caused any, you know, made my pre-existing conditions worse, or even inflared them, you know, based on his testimony. That's what he says. And did plaintiff suffer any pre-existing conditions that were asymptomatic, but not lit up by either of the accidents? And then it says, as previously mentioned, my overall impressions of the records is that Victor Latordo's pre-existing conditions of musculoskeletal complaints were symptomatic at the time of 2 motor vehicle accidents. So he's saying a person like that was symptomatic. He's having all this back pain, even though he was only seeing the chiropractor once a month and has pretty much no record of getting massage, except for when we went to the Philippines. Maybe there might be a record of like 1 or 2 elsewhere. I don't even know. I wasn't even getting massage. I got massage from you know, maybe one or two before I left to the Philippines. I was just doing, you know, touch-up care, you know, just to keep my body feeling good. And he says, you know, this is what he's saying, that my complaints were at the time of the two vehicle accidents of May. You know, they were inflamed and I had a bad back. However, if this pre-existing condition was prior to the accident, they were not injured or messed up or lit up by either of the accidents. He's saying that they weren't. So that's such a bullshit story. There was no permanent worsening as a result of the accident of May 13, 2014 or January. So he's saying all these accidents didn't hurt any of my back, and my back was inflamed from pre-existing conditions from different accidents, and I call bullshit. There's my pictures. You can ask my wife what a great time I was having. You can see from all these people who he's defrauding, people like that, who's given a, you know, first review that's just not really honest. There's an honest review. These two are probably honest. My review's honest. You know, and then basically, you know, he's suing, or he's saying my pain and suffering and damages were my own doing and not his clients. I had no symptoms, or I had, you know, the symptoms, I had no symptoms from their clients hitting me. It was all previous. I was not being treated for anything but maintenance before, you know. See my Philippine pictures to the gyms and the trips, you know. You guys know what maintenance therapy means? Do you want to see my records from the chiro? Do you want to see the x-rays from the chiro? Do you want the reports from the doctors and the physical therapists and the massage therapist? Did plaintiff suffer from any pre-existing condition that were symptomatic and were aggravated by any of the accidents? Let's say that again. Did plaintiff suffer from any pre-existing conditions that were symptomatic? Of course I did. I have a degenerative disc disease. I had a bad back, like, period. And I just did maintenance stuff to, you know, keep it going. And then this doctor says, based upon my understanding of the records, Victor Glatordo's preconditioning assist of back pain, musculoskeletal complaints were symptomatic at the time of the accident of May 13th, 2014 and January 5th, 2015. And so, you know, and were not aggravated or permanently worsened by either accidents. And so I had no complaints before, you know, the accidents. You can ask my chiropractor, and, you know, I was not symptomatic at the time of the accident. I'm sorry. I was feeling great. You can ask my wife. I hadn't asked her a massage for 2 months. You know, and yeah, I did suffer from preconditioning. I'm an eggshell case. This guy says, is Victor an eggshell case? And he's basically putting no. He's like, you know, I mean, come on. Did plaintiff suffer from any pre-existing conditions that were symptomatic and were aggravated by any of the accidents? You know, what was my symptoms? My symptoms, if I got a blown out disc, L1, S1 through L7's blown out, and these guys fucking, you know, took my back that was, you know, basically been whiplashed a couple times before recently, and they did it to me again. You know, of course I'm suffering from, you know, a precondition, and they were aggravated by your stupid little accident, you know? I mean, come on, look at the x-rays. Just, come on, think about it. When, if ever, were you when, if ever, would you have expected the plaintiff to recover from the injuries sustained as the result? I would, this is what the doctor said, I would have expected Victor Glatordo to recover from the injuries sustained in the May 13th and the January 5th accident by 6 weeks post-accident. Please refer to the answer to question 9 regarding the amount of treatment I believe is reasonable following each motor vehicle accident. If you do not expect the plaintiff to recover from injuries sustained in each accident, what is the plaintiff's prognosis for the future? Not applicable, because he basically just says, you know, if that, you know, my injuries, since they weren't caused from any of their accidents and it was all preconditioning, that it doesn't apply. Do you believe plaintiffs have sustained any physical limitation? You know, and if you ask me here, you know, what is a plaintiff's prognosis for the future? You know, if you ask me, it's a state of everyday problem solving, gym, massage, chiro. It's nothing new. Do you believe plaintiff has sustained any physical limitation or impairment of physical capacity due to either of the accidents? If so, please describe. He says, based on my understanding of the records, Victor Latordo did not sustain any physical limitations or impairments of physical capacity due to either of the accidents. I did not note any documentation in the records that provide an objective basis for stating that Victor Latordo sustained an injury as a result of either accident. And I got plenty of records, so go ask my chiro. And he just doesn't, go ask, my body. Go ask my pictures. Go ask my history. Go ask my wife. Go ask all my doctors. Go check the record why I was only going to the chiro once a month for that last year. My back still hurts, real bad, and sometimes it feels like someone's squeezing me like with a bear hug, Yes, I've sustained physical limitations and impairment. It hurts. It leaves me impaired. I can barely it takes me a full second. I can barely even lift my body up sometimes. I just have to freeze and just go, ouch, until the pain stops. Based on my understanding, and that was never happening before, based on my understanding of the records, Victor Latordo did not sustain any physical limitation or impairment. I did not know any document that provided any basis that I was injured of either accident. It's such bullshit. All the findings in the record are subjective in nature, as palpatory findings, restricted motion, and positive responses to stretching and compression tests and the spinal exam. So yes, I just did the finals of that. All the findings in the records are subjective in nature. So that means all the findings in the records, like whose records, his records. This record, this thing he's writing are all subjective because he doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's all basing this off of a black and white picture of some, just an insurance company. He's never seen x-rays. He's never actually, talked about any of my physical therapies, such as palpatory findings, restricted motion, positive responses to stretching and compression tests, and all findings. Okay, if any future treatments may be necessary with respect to injuries caused by the accident, please state what type of treatment and the cost you believe it's related. Based on my understanding of the records, there is no need for any future terms of treating the resolved injuries sustained in the accident of May or there. So he says there's no need for any future treatment because treating is resolved. Why would it be resolved? Go ask my physical therapist where we were last at when my hip was still sore and I was just at a loss for money because I didn't have any more to go see the massage therapist and I couldn't see the chiropractor because my leg hurt so bad. This is, a chiro massage workout. This is what I need, up here. Note, we never got the transcript to the accident. It would be nice to have that limitation, physical limitation. What treatment, if any, has the plaintiff received following the accident that you believe was reasonable, necessary, and related to treat the injuries sustained in the accident? And then he goes on to say, based upon my understanding of the records, and for me, based upon my doctoring of the records, Victor Latordo did not sustain an injury as a result of the May accident that required any health care, including any chiropractic care or massaging. So he's saying when I got hit on May 13th of 2014, this accident did not require any health care, not even a doctor. I shouldn't even, in his opinion, I shouldn't even have been seeing a doctor for any of this, even though I have, blown out S1, L7, I have, degenerative disc disease, I have, back pain, from these other car accidents that I just spent $30,000 on fixing and was down to the chiropractor just once a month for maintaining, and I wasn't even supposed to see a doctor after I got hit by Dylan, in his opinion, including, everyone. I shouldn't have been going to PT. I shouldn't have been going to chiro. I shouldn't have been getting massage. And then he says, following the January 5th, 2015 accident, the upper limit of reasonable chiropractic care is treatment through February 7th. And why didn't you list it on the first one? Why is he all way down here? February 7th, and includes first 10 visits all the way back. So he gives me 10 visits for my first treatment that he says since I would, but this is where he says, why would he's just saying the upper limit of reasonable chiropractic care. Why would I even get him to say I should get the upper limit of reasonable chiropractic care if he says that none of my injuries were sustained from their accident, and all my injuries were pre-existing, that their accident didn't inflame at all? So, what's the reasonable limit for someone who is, going through these treatments? It's the first 2 massage therapy sessions were Kyoko following the January 5th accident, pre-existing conditions, so all my pre-existings, everything, I'm only supposed to have it all finished up with 2 freaking massages. It's like seriously, after what these people did to me and my headaches and my whiplash and all that stuff, come on. Any treatment provided after February 2015, such as chiropractic care and massage therapy, is not reasonable. Yeah, because I wasn't even supposed to go to the doctor in the first place. Of course it's not going to be reasonable, you stupid ass. You haven't seen my x-rays. You haven't seen any of my pictures. The only thing you've seen is a bunch of fraud reports you made probably for people like Kim. And, and you took probably her money for 15 years. She's a happy customer. She probably gave you $250,000. But anyway, my opinions, he says my opinions here regarding the appropriate amount of care based on my experience. So he gives this girl 15 years, Jennifer S., and then he gives me fucking two, excuse my language, he gives me 2 days or whatever, and he says that's like the amount. I should get 9 days total for both accidents. He says it up here. I'll add them up. One valuable source for guideline. He says, my opinions regarding the appropriate amount of care based on my experience as a chiropractor, as a treating chiropractor, and upon available guidelines. One valuable source for guidelines is the second edition of Instant Access to Chiropractic Guidelines and Protocols, authored by Lou Huff, DC, and David Brady, DC. This text is published by Elsevier Mosby. And then, this is a book from the year 2004, and it's really outdated. It's 15-year-old technology that took like a year for him to write. It's 16 years old, probably, that when he wrote it, it was probably 16 years ago. The charges from this guy's just old. He's like farting dust over here. This is nothing for me. The charges from all the way back and neck are high for the services provided. Well, I told you they were going to be high. I told you exactly what they were going to be. I told the insurance adjuster that they should pay him and just settle with me for, $5,000. And they said no. They told me to go see him. They're like, nope, just go see him. We'll do it by the books. And I said, okay. So really the charges, we're already told that's what he charges everyone. And I'm sure this doctor, when he charges them and they get in accidents like her, I bet I bet they're charging the same amount. Like, you go check their bills, and and they probably don't even have the hot water bed. They're not even getting adjusted as good, and it's right, and that's why they're not having bodies like that. You know what I mean? I got the chiropractor that really hooks it up fat. You guys have no idea. To appropriate code for the chiropractor adjustment is appropriate code. Yeah, whatever. You got appropriate code for what year? Fucking 2004. Is that your 2004 code, huh? Like you want to see my computer code from 2004, bud? You don't even want to see my code. And it says here, charge for CPT should be no more than blah, blah, blah. Who gives a rat's ass what he thinks it should be? I'd pay that guy freaking twice as much as he's asking. You better shut your little face. My chiropractor is the best freaking ever. You wish you had a freaking chiropractor like you were as good as a chiropractor as mine. Have there ever been any special or unusual medical issues complicating my treatment or recovery? And, Victor, ongoing psychiatric condition is a complicating factor. However, that condition is outside of my scope, and I'm not committed, on talking about it further. Well, yeah, go see all the rest of my YouTube videos and then talk about it, you dork nut. Go see the rest of my files that I gave my lawyer. You go see, go see the FBI in the swamp getting drained and all the fake medias and all this garbage. Go look at your Berenstein Bear books, you little, crook. Has plaintiff failed to take any action that would have resulted in plaintiff systems resolving quicker or reducing any ongoing issues. And I'm not aware of any failure on the part of Victor Latorre to take any action that would have resulted in the symptoms resolving quicker. Yeah, I do things so quick, you don't even want to know how fast I code. I code. Don't even mess with me. Do you believe any of the injuries the plaintiff sustained in the accident prevented plaintiffs from working If yes, please describe what limitations and over what period of time they would have on the plaintiff's ability to work. Is I'm in the garden, I'd be, being sore, and I'd have to do things differently, and I'd always be, going to the PT, trying to get it fixed. Based on his understanding, the medical records, Victor did not sustain any injuries as a result of either motor vehicle accidents that prevented him from working. Really? Well, what if I wanted to work the very next day after the accident? I wouldn't have been prevented at all from doing a bunch of hard labor and working out in the gym. I mean, seriously? And I'm not supposed to go to the doctor like he said in the other page? This is just a crock, and that's why I got 2 weeks of Cairo. It should be good enough, to heal. Question 9, whatever. That one must have been, for question 9 back here. Yeah. But what is this? Do you believe any of the injuries plaintiff sustained in the accident prevented me from working? Whatever. We'll skip to the next one. If you're able to apportion the injuries, if any, between the two accidents, please do so. In my opinion, there are no apportionment issues regarding injuries sustained in the two motor vehicle accidents of May and January 2014-2015. At the time of the accident of 2015, the injuries sustained in the May 14 had fully resolved. Well, in my opinion, there are no appointment issues regarding injuries sustained in the two motor vehicle accidents. He already said that I, hadn't, that it was all preconditioning and that they didn't, inflame any of it, and that I was never injured by their, accidents, and there's, no issues regarding injuries sustained in any of these accidents, and everything's all cleared up, and everything should be hokey dokey and rainbows on 9th and 11th Street. I mean, at the time of the accident on January 5th of 2015, the injuries sustained in the May 13 accident, which he said weren't existent because I didn't have any, had been fully resolved. Like my headaches, like they'd all went away miraculously. Like I mean, what the hell? Neck, back pain, whiplash, all that stuff. And then he says, all opinions expressed in this report are based on a reasonable degree of medical certainty. What does reasonable degree mean? Like reasonable for Kim and reasonable for me and reasonable for her, something different, I mean, and this guy right here, like, let's see where he, let's see any of his, he's got all that junk. He's just a tool, signed under perjury that Victor's penis hurts. Unreal. Signed and dated. Victor's got a hurt penis. Yep.